a Emerson de Luca, que es el secretario ejecutivo de Panasef. Muchas gracias por atendernos. Thank you to be with us. Emerson, what are the projects is FIAT IFTA currently working on at this moment?
First of all, I just want to say thank you very much for inviting us to be here. It's fantastic to be here present at the Funer Mostra in the beautiful city of Valencia, and to be talking to you here today as well. You are the representative for Spain for FIAT IFTA, and we are really honored to have you there as well, and to have Panasef as a FIAT IFTA national member.
Thank you.
Okay. So in terms of projects that we have been working on, there are several lines of projects. I think one of the very important parts of FIAT IFTA is education. So we are working on to bringing more of that within the projects of FIAT IFTA. We had a fantastic example of that with the embalming course that took place just a few weeks back, and we had a fantastic feedback from that. And a few weeks back as well, actually beginning of September, we had a webinar that was done together with IATA, which is the International Air Transportation Association, basically talking about the repatriation of mortal remains by air. But then apart from that as well, we are working towards having committees actually for embalming, for coffin standards as well. So we know how embalming is important for the bereaved and for repatriation companies, or for the repatriation of the deceased. So we are working on that as well, to inform those committees, to make sure that maybe we create a standard within FIAT IFTA that could help the industry as a whole. And as you know, we are part of UNESCO as well, so we are working with UNESCO for the intangible cultural heritage, the funeral intangible cultural heritage, and that is a massive and really important project within FIAT IFTA. And we are just now working on preparing the funeral heritage report that is going to be published then for our convention next year in Poland, so in 2024.
Very good. It's very interesting what all you explained. Let's start by the UNESCO project. How is the project? We would like from Spain to participate, and we are asking to the companies of our association of Panasef how we can participate to this project.
Of the UNESCO?
Yes,
yeah.
Of UNESCO.
So that's very good. I think we have actually one report already for Spain, and that is about the suites of All Saints.
All Saints streets.
Yeah, which is really interesting. I was actually reading about it, and that's the way to bring intangible culture that people live and people actually still abide to try to protect them, to safeguard them, and hence the fact that we have a consultative status with UNESCO with the intangible, what we call 2003 convention, which is for the intangible cultural heritage. So yeah, anyone who has any intangible cultural heritage that they believe would be important to be addressed or to be appearing on the report, you can send us their report, or we have actually a template that can help people to do an inventory of those elements or cultural elements, and also to be able to write the reports as well. Okay. But as I said, that one from Spain is very good and quite an interesting one actually.
Very good. And about the training project that we celebrate in Barcelona in the last weeks, you are thinking in more, or the webinar of IATA, you are thinking in more projects like this to an international view of embalming or another kind of formation? Absolutely.
I think the project that took place in Barcelona was a pilot project to see how that would work. First of all, to see if there was any interest, for instance, and I think we had quite a lot of interest. This project will certainly continue with the help of Panasef, was sorting as well, and it was a great success. IATA webinar. It was quite important as well. We had participation from companies all over the world into that as well. And the FIAT IFTA really wants to take that a step further, because we have the education committee that will be working on those projects. And I think one of the things that we realized that we don't need to, as we say, reinvent the wheel. We just really need to make sure what is available in different countries and maybe make that available to other people in other countries. Mm-hmm. And FIAT IFTA can be this connecting element of the national education programs that many associations have already to the international world. And this is something that we really want to keep going, and with this project that we started in Spain, which is a sad, and I think one of the feedbacks that we have from that course that took place in Barcelona is that it was not just an embalming course, because there were people from all over the world. They were able to share their experiences as well. So yes, it was an embalming course, but there was much more than that as well, because of the origins of those people who were participating at the course.
Yeah, I agree, because here in Spain, when in Panasef organized training for people, the most interesting thing for the people that is going to the training is to know each other people and to share experience. This is, I think that this is one of the important things.
Yeah. But you think, when you're talking about embalming, specifically about embalming, we know that the way that embalming takes place in many different countries is completely different. There are some countries that actually they don't do a full embalming, for instance. But even what we consider as a full embalming, the levels and the techniques are different. And maybe one of the things that we could try and help us, FIAT IFTA, is to create a standard that actually is something that is thought about, and putting embalmers from all over the world together to create something that everybody agrees on and think, okay, this is actually a good standard of embalming. Okay. Because like for repatriation, some people sometimes, some companies receive some bodies and they say, oh, it has been fully embalmed, but actually the quality maybe is not as what they would have expected. But what is good quality embalming? Yeah. What really level we need to get to help the industry all over the world to get to a high standard embalming as well.
Okay, I think that this is a great initiative, because you from Panasef, you can support this initiative, because I think that it will be a very important issue.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the sector, and you have a view from your place, from your position, that can help to the Spanish companies to understand how are the main trends that are moving the whole industry, the whole sector. Here in Spain, in the last years, we have made a lot of changes. There is a concentration process. There is also a professionalization of companies and professionals. And how do you see the funeral sector around the world? I suppose that it will be different between countries, but what are the main issues, the main trends?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, and we hear a lot people talking especially about COVID. Oh, after COVID things changed. Okay, I'm really of the opinion that COVID has just accelerated the changes that were there already, because the trends, people's view of funerals were changing beforehand already. It's just because COVID was such a force that maybe made that even more prominent. And I think many challenges is actually to respond to customers' demand. One of the things, because obviously people were seeing things in different ways, and nowadays with internet, social media, especially now with artificial intelligence, everything is like that. Everything occurs so quickly that people sometimes are not ready for it. And I think that's one of the challenges of the funeral industry, that maybe the funeral industry is not quite ready to embrace these changes, because these changes, they were taking place slowly, but then with COVID, many of those elements just became immediate. And then to respond to immediate, or to have an immediate reaction to something that you don't quite know where to go, what to do, is quite challenging. I think in terms of regulation as well, many countries are still struggling to have a regulated market. Okay, and that's one of the things that we are doing as FIAT IFTA as well, helping some members in some countries to create regulations, because we know very well that if there are no regulations, then that means anybody can do absolutely everything they want, and who actually ends up paying for that is the families, because they don't receive a good service, and that's the sort of thing that we are trying to help as well. But I think the funeral industry really needs to learn how to adapt to customers' demands and be inventive. You know, I hear lots of people or some companies saying, "Oh, after COVID, things changed," or maybe people are not having funerals in the traditional way as they used to before. But then, how are we going to address that? You know, because changing people's minds is not really possible, but how can we adapt? How can we offer something that actually is going to be appealing to them, and that they can celebrate the lives of their loved ones as well?
Okay. And here in Spain, we have one of the issues that concerns us is the recruitment and the retention of human talent. And have you seen this issue around the world, or in Europe, or in other countries?
Okay. I don't know if that serves as a consolation, okay, but it's not just a problem for Spain.
Okay.
Absolutely not. That is quite a serious problem, I think, for many, many companies. And I think we need to be honest, because for many people work in the funeral industry, because death, there is still a lot of taboo around death, and some people simply don't want to go into the industry. So that's the first barrier that the industry itself has, you know. And then finding people who are suitable for the job and retaining them is a big challenge. But once again, is then finding ways of retaining those people and finding those people. Of course, maybe more flexibility. Maybe salaries needs to be reviewed as well. So there are a series of things that the funeral directors need to look into to make those jobs a bit more attractive as well. And I think really, I always think that when you have someone interviewing, really to show to them how important that job is and how much of a difference they can make to that family by providing a good service as well, so that they get, you know, reward for the job that they are doing. That is extremely difficult, because it is not an easy job. It is not something that you know, will not cause you stress. It will cause you stress because you're going to be dealing with distressed families all the time. Okay, but then seeing the positive into that, how much of a difference you can make to that family if you provide a good service. And the studies have shown that when a family receives a good service from a funeral home, the bereavement process of that family is going to be easier than that of a family who received a bad service. So if a family received a service where they thought that was a dignified service, that they gave to their loved one something that was appropriate, they are going to feel more at peace. It's not going to make it easy, but it may make it a bit easier. They will come to terms of that, you know, for their death in a better way.
For me, this is the most important point.
Yeah.
You know? I think that to understand what is the transcendental of the job. No?
Absolutely.
And for finish, what are the objectives of FIAT IFTA here at Funet Mostra?
Well, I think we were discussing about that just a minute ago with some people there at our booth. I think connecting, we live in a world that is connected. Connecting is very important. So having an exhibition like this is extremely important for people to connect. And being here, for FIAT IFTA to be here, is to meet people like you today and be able to be here. But we have already met so many people from different countries that are present here at Funera Mostra, and it's great. So yes, it's making new connections, establishing or consolidating the current connections that we have, and helping the industry. I think we are all here because we have one goal, which is to offer the best service to the bereaved families. And I think here you can just see, just by the attention that is given to this fair, you can clearly see that the funeral industry here in Spain is actually willing to provide a great service to the bereaved families.
Okay, thank you very much, Emerson.
You're very welcome. It's my pleasure, Joseph. Thank you.